Hey guys, Jenna here. Welcome back to my channel. So, I just got home from watching my nephews play in the theater. They did Alice in Wonderland and they were absolutely adorable. Sorry, I have really bad lighting. I don't know what makes it better and what makes it worse. But, I came home to a Bookoutlet box. I ordered this, I think, like exactly a week ago. And I don't remember everything in this. I can only remember a couple things. But I do know that there are 10 books in here. So I'm definitely missing, like, forgetting a couple things. Because I can only remember, like, 2 or 3 of the things that I ordered. So I guess we are about to see. So let's just get right into this because I'm excited. Maybe the receipt will tell me. Oh yes, I'm excited now. So 10 books, it all came to $49.30, but then after tax it was $52.26. Rest in peace to my bank account. Paper. Wow, I thought I got this in paperback. Awesome. So I guess the first thing I'm gonna pick up is To Catch a Killer by Cheryl Scarborough. And that says Aaron Blake has one of those names, instantly recognizable, a name inextricably linked to a grisly crime. As a toddler, Aaron survived for 3 days alongside the corpse of a murdered mother. The case, which remains unsolved, fascinated the nation. 14 years later, Aaron has become a relatively normal teen in spite of the looming questions about her past. But then she discovers the body of her biology teacher and once again finds herself at the center of a brutal homicide investigation. When questioned by the police, Aaron tells almost the whole truth, but never voices her suspicions that her mother's killer has struck again. And I've been wanting to get into more thrillers / murder mysteries, so I decided to pick this up. Hang on, I'm gonna move closer to the window because this lighting is god-awful. And this was $3.29. Next, oh my god, I forgot I ordered that. Okay, so next I have, wow, this book is so pretty. Cat? Faith? Faithy? I hear a cat. So the next book I have is Tiny Infinities by J.H. Deal. This is such a pretty cover, which is what interested me in this book. So the back says, hundreds of fireflies, 2 odd friends, 1 impossible word, a summer of possibility. Oh, the inside, it's like, wow, this is so adorable. So this says, what's Alice going to do? When 12-year-old Alice's dad moves out, leaving her with her troubled mother, Alice does the only thing that feels right. She retreats to her family's old Renaissance fair tent in the backyard, determined to live there until her dad comes home. In an attempt to keep at least one part of her summer from changing, Alice focuses on her quest to get her name on the swim team's record board. But summers contain multitudes, and soon Alice meets an odd new friend, Harriet, whose obsession with the school's science fair is equal only to her conviction that Alice's best stroke is backstroke, not freestyle. Most unexpected of all is an unusual babysitting charge, Piper, who is mostly deaf and entirely mute, until Alice hears her speak a word. And this was $5.99. Wow, that's weird. This is the only one that came from China, and the rest came from the United States. Okay. Next we have Count All Her Bones by April Henry. And this is actually, okay, so, give me back my cat! Rude. So when I was like super young, I picked...
There you go.
Thank you. Faith! Hi! Faithy's back. Hi! We've missed you. When I was super young, I read the first book, which is called Girl Stolen, and it's basically about this blind girl who is sleeping in the back of her mother's car. She's blind, and I'm pretty sure she's sick with pneumonia, and while her mom's in the pharmacy, the car is left running, and some guy breaks into it and steals it with her in the back seat, not knowing that she's back there. And I remember reading that when I was super young, and my older sister would always like take it out of my backpack after school and read some of it. So we were kind of like reading it together, but like she didn't know that I knew that she was taking it out of my backpack and reading it with me. And so this is a sequel that I did not know existed. So I have to find my copy of the old book, the first book, and read that so I can read this. And this was $3.89. Next we have Starry Eyes by Jen Bennett, and this is a contemporary. And let me see. It says the woods... No, there's a bug. The woods, the stars, and the boy who broke her heart. Ever since last year's homecoming dance, best friends turned enemies, Zori and Lennon have made an art of avoiding each other. It doesn't hurt that their families are the modern-day Californian version of the Montagues and the Capulets. But when a group camping trip goes south, Zori and Lennon find themselves stranded in the wilderness, alone, together. What could go wrong? With no one but each other for company, they have no choice but to hash out their issues via witty jabs and insults as they try to make their way to safety. But fighting each other while also fighting off the forces of nature makes getting out of the woods in one piece less and less likely. As the two travel deeper into Northern California's rugged backcountry, secrets and hidden feelings resurface. But can Zori and Lennon's rekindled connection survive out in the real world? Or was it just a result of the fresh forest air and the magic of the twinkling stars? So this was only $3.89 for the hardcover, and I actually thought I got the paperback. But hey, happy about that. Wow, hey, I thought this was going to be paperback too. Shook. So this next book is Lizzie by Dawn Eyes. And this is about Lizzie Borden. So yeah, that's the cover. That's the back. Meow, Faith. Hi. Jay Kathy. What's the matter? So, just dark green. This says, 17-year-old Lizzie Borden has never been kissed. Polite, but painfully shy, Lizzie prefers to stay in the kitchen, where she can dream of becoming a chef and escaping her reality. With tyrannical parents who force her to work at the family's bed and breakfast and her blackout episodes, a symptom of a medical condition that has plagued her since her first menstrual cycle, Lizzie longs for a life of freedom, the time and space to just figure out who she is and what she wants. Enter the evanescent, unpredictable Bridget Sullivan. Bridget has joined the B&B's staff as the new maid, and Lizzie is instantly drawn to her artistic style and free spirit. Even her Star Wars obsession is kind of cute. The two of them forge a bond that quickly turns into something that's maybe more than a friendship. When her parents try to restrain Lizzie from living the life she wants, something sparks in her that she can't quite figure out. Her blackout episodes start getting worse, her instincts less and less reliable. Lizzie's angry, certainly, but she also feels like she's going mad. And I did not know that this was going to have LGBTQ rep either. So that's pretty exciting. What is she looking at? She's like freaking out. Hi. So this was $3.89. Okay, so next we have Bird Box by Josh Malerman, and I didn't know this was a book. So here's a synopsis if you guys don't know what Bird Box is. Faith! Great, now she's gonna complain because the door's closed. Faithy! Come here. Come here. Something is out there, something terrifying that must not be seen. One glimpse and a person is driven to deadly violence. No one knows what it is or where it came from. 5 years after it began, a handful of scattered survivors remain, including Mallory and her 2 young children. Living in an abandoned house near the river, Mallory has long dreamed of fleeing to a place where her family might be safe. But the journey ahead will be terrifying. 20 miles downriver in a rowboat, blindfolded. One wrong choice and they will die. And something is following them, but is it a man, animal, or monster? Engulfed in darkness, surrounded by sounds both familiar and frightening, Mallory embarks on a harrowing odyssey, a trip that takes her into an unseen world and back into the past, to the companions who once saved her. Interweaving past and present, yeah, you get the rest. And this was $4.39. Sorry, I literally could not swallow for a second. Next is a book that I'm actually pretty excited for, and I've never heard of it before. And this is called Devil in Ohio by Daria Politan. It's happening again. So this says, based on a true story, evil comes in many forms. When 15-year-old Jules Mathis comes home from school to find a strange girl sitting in her kitchen, her psychiatrist mother reveals that May is one of the patients at a hospital and will be staying with her family for a few days. But soon May is wearing Jules' clothes, sleeping in her bedroom, edging her out of her position on the school paper, and flirting with Jules' crush. And May has no intention of leaving. Then things get weird. Jules walks in on a half-dressed May, startled to see a pentagram carved into May's back. Jules begins to piece together who May really is, and where she's from, only discover that May's family will stop at nothing to get her back. So I think this sounded super interesting, and this was $3.29. Okay, next, I finally decided to get Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. So, yeah, I don't actually know what this is about. So, okay. In a real world, Eliza Mark is shy, weird, and friendless. Online, she's Lady Constellation, the anonymous creator of a wildly popular webcomic, Monstrous Sea. Eliza can't imagine enjoying the real world as much as she loves the online one, and she has no desire to try. Then Wallace Warland, Monstrous Sea's biggest fan fiction writer, transfers to her school. Wallace thinks Eliza is just another fan, and he draws her out of her shell. She begins to wonder if a life online might be worthwhile. If a life offline might be worthwhile. But when Eliza's secret is accidentally shared with the world, everything she's built, her story, her relationship with Wallace, and even her sanity begins to fall apart. I've heard nothing but good things about this, so this was $6.49, and I'm super excited to get into this. Literally everyone I've seen on BookTube has had nothing but great things to say about this. I have not heard one negative review about that. So yeah. And next, I got a book that doesn't match my other ones. And now I'm triggered because I thought they would match, but they don't. And that is Before the Devil Breaks You by Lola Bray, which is book 3. Faith. Hey. Come here. Come here. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Come on. Now she thinks she's stranded on that doll box over there. Come here. Faith. Faithy. Faith. Faithy. I knew that was gonna happen. Faith. Now she's just upset. And I think this is book 3 of the Diviners. So I definitely don't want to read this. Yeah, this is book 3. I can't believe it. That literally just happened on camera. So yeah, this totally doesn't match my other ones, but I decided to pick it up anyways. And this was $7.09. Faith! Hey, you want a box? She's like, Mom, that's a box. Faithy. She's literally driving me crazy. The last thing I got was Sadie by Courtney Summers. And this has also been something that I've seen, like, have really great reviews. and also be compared to Female the Species, which is one of my favorite YA books. So I decided to finally splurge and pick it up. So this says, when popular radio personality Wes McCrae receives a desperate phone call from a stranger imploring him to find 19-year-old runaway Sadie Hunter, he's not convinced that there's a story there. Girls go missing all the time. But as soon as Wes' boss discovers Sadie fled home after the brutal murder of her little sister Maddie, he sees the makings of something big and orders Wes to the small town of Cold Creek, Colorado to uncover what happened. Sadie has no idea that her story will soon... Faith! That her story will soon become the subject of a blockbuster podcast. She just wants revenge. Armed with a switchblade, Sadie follows a meager set of clues, hoping that they'll lead to the man who took Maddie's life, because she's determined to make him pay for it with his own. But as Wes traces her journey to the darkest, most dangerous corners of big cities and small towns, a deeply unsettling mystery begins to unfold. One that's bigger than them both. Can he find Sadie before it's too late? So this was also 709. I'm really excited to get to this. I think that this may be a September read. So yeah, that was all I got from Bookoutlet. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments down below if any of these sound interesting to you, or if you have read any of these and enjoyed them. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time for a new video.